You may be making a lot of money, but you might be waking up every day and not fully happy. I would say then start listening to that inner voice and following it, and challenging yourself. And you may go through some different spaces, but it's beauty at the end of the tunnel.
So I do think it's only fair. We need to shout Nas out as we get things started
Yeah,
because Nasir is the reason that I found your work and I fell in love with it right out the gate. So I told you before we started recording that I'm a
is
huge fan and been excited for today. But Nas told me about this artist that he knew in Philly that he was working with that was doing NFTs, and that's kind of how Nas and I got connected. So I went out and saw it, and that's why I've got this jacket. Unfortunately, my camera doesn't show as well as yours does, but I bought
uh,
the Odie Don NFT. It came with the jacket, which I thought was genius. So shout out to
thank you.
Nas for getting us connected. And
Yeah, bless.
I've been really excited looking up to this conversation because I just sit back and I watch all the things that you're doing and seeing you create the way that you create in all the different formats inspires me to keep on trying and experimenting and following my passion. So you're an inspiration to me, and this is the first time we've talked. Real quick though, I like to have my guests give their own introduction because
Yeah.
I want you to tell everybody who you are. So give your quick introduction and we'll kind of get into some of the stuff we're going to talk about today.
First and foremost, Justin, thank you so much. I highly appreciate the words, the energy, and just valuing you as coming across my work and being a collector. Um, yo, that means the most to me. As far as me, my name is Duane Gordon. I go by the artist name of Originally Distinct. Originally Distinct is a lifestyle, and it's just artistry. It's a world that I'm creating around myself as an artist and around my imagination. Um, and yeah, that's somewhat of who I am.
Tell me more about the lifestyle. What's the lifestyle of Originally Distinct?
The lifestyle of Originally Distinct is just being who I am, living it, but then also projecting it in the art form. Um, I started really, I really started projecting who I was and just my, how can I say this? My flaws,
Mhm.
my imperfections. I started embracing that, and if you look at any of us as a person, we're all distinct beings. We all are one individual being, and I just started once I started to get an understanding of that and really started embracing it, things started to open up, and then there's no limitations on my creativity. I can explore any world that I dream to. It's just being a student, forever being a student, having an imagination, having a vision, and learning, and then producing. And that's how I create. That's how I move forward with my work.
How did you, this wasn't on the list, but how did you get to the point where you realized, it's okay to embrace the flaws and show that kind of adopt this mindset? Was there, somebody that you talked to that was kind of a mentor? Was it a book? Was it just life? Like, how did you come to this? Because it takes a lot of confidence and vulnerability to project all of that and own that and then turn that into like a brand and who you are. So how did you get to the point of understanding that?
Yo, you go through trials and tribulations. You go to school, you go to college, you graduate from college, you get a job. For me, I got a job. The job wasn't something. It was something I was doing for money. So at the end of the day, I had to wake up every day and have a feeling that I got to go to work. But
Hmm.
then I also had passions. I had passions. I love real estate. One of my buddies, that was a mentor of me. He's building a real estate development company. Shout out to BK Partners. Um, I got him to mentor me to dive dive into the realm of real estate development. I learned a lot about that, and I was good at. I became good at doing that.
Hmm.
But when it came to it still was a measure. The measure in real estate or that was money. It was like, okay, I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna put in this much work, and I'm gonna make this amount of money. Basically, the more work I'm putting in, the more money I make. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, it's still some type of work. But when it came to my artistry and creativity and me being me, that's not work.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I do naturally. So I got to the point where I just start embracing that, and it's not a job. It's really a passion. It's really just coming up with coming up with ideas in your mind, and that feeling you get that feeling for those from ideas or from visions or from inspirations. You get feeling, and then when it makes you feel a certain way, that's how you know that's something that you should move forward and pursue with. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm forever a student. So it's nothing for me to learn how to manufacture something, learn how to produce something, or just express my vision to a manufacturer or find out find out how to create it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got to that point, I mean, it's just no work. It's not work. So I had to go through those trials to really get to this point, and it's all a feeling. So when I wake up and I'm working towards something that I love, you figure it out. No matter what challenges you go through, no matter how hard it is, and the universe knows that. So when you focus on something that you're really passionate about and you want to bring to life, no matter what obstacles in front of your way, as long as you try, the universe is going to send angels or whatever it is to support you and guide you to the next step.
Man.
And yeah, that's why I'm living proof of that. So just believing in the universe, and you know, and putting the energy out that you want to receive that.
So what you just described is some of the stuff that I feel like I've just uncovered that I want to come through in the pursuit. And I was talking to some other advisors today and about pursuit, and I always disclaim as I start to go into the talk about the universe and the law of attraction, all these things that I've learned that I know this sounds crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
and I want more people. I feel like you telling your story and me telling my story and experiences with the universe and manifestation and how these things can really work and help us. We
Mm-hmm.
can't force somebody to believe it. They've got to
Mm-hmm.
experience it themselves. They've got to go through those trials and tribulations. But what we can do with our story, and why I'm glad you shared that, is to let people know that there are these forces that are kind of at our back to help us. And
Yes.
hopefully they can identify it when it happens.
Yes.
So maybe they thought something was a coincidence and they go back and revisit it and like, oh, like maybe there was a greater force that made me meet that person or a greater
Mm-hmm.
force that put me in this place at that time and go in on it. So I think we'll come.
Yes.
I think we'll come back to universe here in a moment. I want to loop back though to you had the job that was for the money, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're doing a career that's full of passion. There was a
Yep.
transition. How did you go from a job, the safe route for the money, to going betting all on yourself, going out on your own, and following your passion? Because I think that no, not I think I know a lot of people never get to where you're at because they're afraid of the money. How do I make money from this? How do I bridge that gap? So you don't have to go into numbers, but just how did you go preparing from going from the safety to the unknown? And then how did you go from that unknown and create a business that can provide for you and your family?
So first and foremost, I graduated college in 2014 from Lincoln University. It's a HBCU. And after I graduated from Lincoln University, I had a mentor or a bigger brother um, of mine that always had the best intentions, and he's actually an educator. So he actually got me a job at a school, and it was being a teacher's assistant. And me not me because when you go through college, you go through a structure of getting through college so you can go get a job and you
Mm-hmm.
can pay your loans off. So when after I graduated college, it was all about now it's time to go make money. It's time to go get a job. And I finally it was easy for me to get a job. I got a job. And then I started I was going to work every day, and it wasn't something that was I was passionate at. So it was something that I struggled with. And as you struggle with it, you learn how to become better. But at the same time, it was not my passion. So long story short, at the end of the year of my contract, I got laid off. Once I got laid off, it was a blessing. I was happy. It was like a information of joy.
Mm-hmm.
because during that time period I was I was taking real estate courses, and I was trying to become a real estate agent. And me trying to become a real estate agent, that didn't work out for me. So I mean, after I got laid off, then I was going through the real estate pass. I was taking the real estate test as I was working, but I was not passing it. So after the school year was over, I reached out to a friend of mine um, named Brahim Murray, and he mentored me on real estate development. Now, with real estate development, we started off with a thing called wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
Wholesaling in real estate is how you source deals, learn how to negotiate deals, and create value within a real estate deal. So I got to that point, and I was good at just learning how to do that, but I was still on my own time. But I was more of an independent contractor. I was just making as an independent contractor. But I got so comfortable at learning the real estate development game that it helped me learn how to with real estate development, it's all about, it's a business plan at the end of the day. You got a real estate deal that may that that may be worth this amount of value, and you got to take these steps to retrieve the value out of the deal. You might have some money, you might have to find someone to finance your deal. Then after you and then you have to have a percentage of that money to secure the finance. And once I learned that real estate developers, they just facilitate plays, and they also know how to raise money where they don't have to put any money out of their pocket to
Mm-hmm.
fund. They just use the real estate deal as the value. Then I just started, once I got comfortable at doing that, I started doing that with my ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But I was already embracing my art in the real and while I was doing real estate, I was just the artist of all the real estate developers and investors. And a lot of those real estate developers embraced me, and I'm super grateful for that, because it was an instant fall in love with my work. And that's how I knew that I was supposed to be doing what I'm doing, because the people that I admired through real estate admired me on the art and creativity
Mm-hmm.
realm. So I knew that that was it brought out a different emotion from people that was with real estate. Everyone is trying to reach up to the top, so it's like more of a, you know at times you got to pay for value, or you got to pay for the mentorship to really get to this next level or get into these doors.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to my artistry, I watched how open a lot of people that I admired was to my art. So you know I learned how to start raising money to produce my own ideas, and also just getting that support from all around just kept growing. But now I'm totally full time doing my art, and designing and creating. So it's nothing else that I do on the side where it's a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But yeah, I'm super grateful for all of it.
Do you
I hope I
think?
ain't taking you all over the place with it.
No, no, this is perfect.
Yeah,
My podcast, or we go wherever it takes us.
yes, sir.
Do you think that the success you're having with your art is because you narrowed that focus and you went all in on it? So that's one of my things.
Yeah,
And historically, I've been all
totally.
over the place. So finding that passion and then going all in on it um, puts you at a different level than if you're trying
It's
to do two things at once.
totally. I started taking myself more serious. It's like
Hmm.
when you, you're doing one thing, but then you may be doing something else on the side to offset and and actually bring in balance, so you can make the money that you need to. You're not putting your all
Hmm.
into what you're passionate at. So basically, once I started putting my all into it, it made me a professional. It put me in a professional phase of, and that opened more doors for me, because I think people look at what I do, and they may like it, or whatever, and and they take it as professional. And
Mhm.
I just start walking in that realm of being a professional artist, being a professional designer, but still being a student at the end of the day too. You
Mhm.
know, and just challenging yourself to take whatever you got to the next level, and and beating your older self, not being comfortable with what you're doing, just stepping it up a notch.
So for people listening who might be trying to figure out how do I go from something I don't like to all in on my passion, would it be safe to say that, like, if we look back at your story, everything happens for a reason. Universe is guiding us where we're supposed to go.
Hmm.
Do you think it's safe to say that your time in real estate development was one to kind of help you have the finances you need to provide and get going, but also to make those connections with those individuals who appreciate your art to give
Yeah.
you the confidence and give you almost kind of like the jump start to say, okay, I've got an audience of people who like my work that can get me started. I've learned how to raise money and all of those things, but that the real point of being in the real estate was it scratched an itch. You were interested in it. You went down that path and realized, okay, Duane, the real estate developer, is not it. But
Yeah.
those connections, those networking, that feedback gave you the little bit of extra confidence and maybe
Hmm.
financial security to make this thing happen. So, the point of that rambling and that summary is, I think what I don't want people to mistake the idea of the pursuit is it's not go after your passion all in
Hmm.
right away. It's
Yeah.
develop a plan. For you, part
Yeah.
of your plan was time in real estate. It was some financial support there. It was connections. It was confirmation that your work is desirable, and then that's all you needed to do to go all in and bet on yourself.
You definitely, yes, all facts, and you definitely got to understand where you want your value to come from, where you want your target audience, and how you want to perceive yourself as whatever you're doing in the creativity world or just period. It's people that you want to value as clients, collectors, and it's a place that you want to. It's a lane that you want to be in. It's a space that you want to be in to where you see yourself higher up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so grateful that I got a chance to learn, especially and from people that I admire. From I also studied, like, just artists that I admire, and just knowing knowing where you want your value to come from and how to value yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you start off with valuing yourself at one place, and then it just it raises up, but it raises up as you become better at what you do.
So I have a belief that when you are pursuing your passion, in a situation like yours where it's your career, but when you're pursuing your passion, you one of two things happen when it comes to finances. One, you realize that the life that you really want centered around this passion might require less income than you thought. You're getting rid of all the
Mhm.
stuff that doesn't matter. You're going all in on this one passion. But the other side, which is I would imagine is what you've experienced, is when you're going after your passion, it's the center of your plan. Like basically, my logo, the circle. Like I
Mhm.
want us to put our passions in the middle, and we build around that with our planning and everything. When you're pursuing
Mhm.
your passion, you're happier, you're more
Yep.
productive. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel like work. And then ultimately, what ends up happening is you're your best and you are more successful, and the finances rise with it. And I think
Yes.
that's I think it's a
Yes.
hard thing for people to accept because it's a little bit of faith. But hearing people
Yeah.
like yourself, that sounds like that's the story, that it is true. I don't know if you have any comments around like what you've seen financially as you've gone all in on your passion because of
Yeah.
it being your passion.
It's constant. I'm sorry to cut you off so quick. It's constant faith.
Mhm.
It's constant faith. No matter how successful I may come across, I'm still surviving off of faith and belief, and just believing that the universe is going to serve me, and also just stepping out of your comfort zone. So you get to spaces where, let's say, things do get tight for you, and or you may be going through some adversity. For me, I started to understand when I get in that space, I got to step out of my comfort zone. I got to push the envelope, and once I
Mhm.
start pushing the envelope, then the universe is going to send the guidance to support me.
Mhm.
And yo, it's you gotta build yourself up to you know get the self control and to get that mind frame. And I'm just learning. I'm living proof, and I think a lot of people. I inspire a lot from just living the living the passion, you know, and just following it. And I'm just grateful for.
So
I'm grateful for all of it.
how'd you build yourself up? So let's say somebody's out there, they've got an idea of what their passion is, they want to go further into it, but maybe they don't have that confidence quite yet. Like, what are some things that people can do to build themselves up, at least from your perspective or your experience?
Once I started meditation, meditation started helping me in a lot of ways, where it can help me control that anxiety.
Hmm.
But building yourself up is working proof. You just constantly you working, evolving, working, evolving, and you go through this process. This process of where you learn how to move with the pace,
Hmm.
and meditation really played a huge part of that. And also just writing your goals down, writing your visions down, revisiting them, going back to them, seeing what you accomplish.
Hmm.
Speaking things into existence. Super powerful. And it's constant. Just constant working on self, working on self, challenging yourself. Um, Even if it's just working out every day, going for a run, just pushing yourself, and it'll help you be able to um, express yourself and get everything out that you need to elevate.
So you are obviously a creative on many fronts,
Hmm.
and I'm going to get to all the places and the formats that you create. But we were talking also earlier that I think we all have a creator inside of us that we were born to create. Um,
Hmm.
do you think that's true? Do you think everybody has the ability inside of them to create, and that they should let that creator out in one form or another?
I mean, yeah, I think everyone has a creator inside of them, and I think it's whenever you get to that space
Hmm.
where you feel like it's something, whatever you're doing is not it, and it's something else that you need to do to make it to fulfill yourself.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think we all have a creator inside of us, and I think once you get to a place of adversity where you may not be happy with your life, or you may just not be happy. You may be making a lot of money, but you might be waking up every day and not fully happy. I would say
Hmm.
then start listening to that inner voice and following it, and challenging yourself. And you may go through some different spaces, but it's beauty at the end of the tunnel.
I think visiting those other spaces is all a part of the journey to help you figure out what it is you're really supposed to do. So I
Yep.
share with you
Yep.
beforehand a little bit of my kind of experimenting and leading me to where I'm at. But there's things I want to try. So one of the things I want to learn how to do is I want to learn how to DJ. I love music.
Yeah.
If I could be anything in the world, like if I wasn't doing all of this, I would love to be a producer. Like I love music and listen to music, how it's put
Yeah.
together, but I've never done anything musical. So I bought turntables. Then I want my oldest son and I to watch some YouTube videos and learn, because it'd be cool. It'd be a father son thing. I get to find out if I'm supposed to be a DJ. The CEO of Goldman Sachs DJs as well, so you can be a professional and DJ. But I just have
Yeah.
to I have to go down that path and experiment and learn it. And maybe I learned that, okay, that's not that version of me, but then I learned something else that takes me somewhere else. So like I think that you're right. You'll get these little, they might be just interests or like these little like pulls to try something. I think you should go try it. And not to say that that's going to become your next passion, but it could lead you to the next passion. One creative thing leads you to another, and as you
It,
keep on going down, you find out where you're supposed to go.
it constantly grows. And look, man, as like when you go back to the DJing, right? You may study, a world of DJs, right? And you may know DJs from a different level, and it's all about how you envision yourself as a DJ.
Hmm.
What would I do if I was a DJ? How would I create this edge for myself? How would
Hmm.
I stand out? And then you start following that. And you said producer, right? You said you want to be a producer. Yo, I just had this epiphany last week I'm like, yo, I'm a producer, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a producer for my ideas. I produce my ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you being a producer is not putting yourself in a box. You know, is you can be a producer from any level, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a Kanye West, a Kanye,
Mm-hmm.
and artist or producer, right? You can't box yourself in. Kanye West, he started off. He was he did production, and he still does, and he's a producer. But that was just one core to his artistry that opened up other doors for his creativity. He still produced ideas, no matter what it is. You know, the Yeezy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
True. From that, and in that standpoint, I am a producer. Like I've got the podcast, the videos,
yeah.
and those things. And speaking of Kanye, just if anybody hasn't watched the documentary Genius, like the first two episodes, I loved. I thought they were so inspiring, and they lit a fire under me. And then the third episode, I
Mhm,
thought was kind of more sad. I didn't love that one as much, just because of it kind of
mhm.
showed the spiral down. But yeah, I would highly recommend that documentary since Kanye came up in the conversation. But let's get back to you, the
Dope.
creator. Tell me
Mhm.
about your ability and your desire and why you create in so many formats. I think I know the answer, but I want to hear why you're doing physical art, digital art, music, clothing. Like why all the formats and what's the motivation behind it?
It's a world. It's a world that I'm creating. I'm in my imagination, and doing it for you. Doing it for you. You know, I think that's what's really important. You know, first of all, doing it for you as just a being, but also doing it for you as a student as well. Doing it for you to explore and learn how to become better,
Hmm.
and then it's just something else that that you add into your realm. So, um, just my world. I'm just creating a world around me, and some seed is planting seeds.
Hmm.
And each seed grows differently. But
Hmm.
once they all mature, we got a beautiful garden now.
Hmm.
We got it's there.
Do you have a
So
favorite medium to create on? Is it the physical, the digital? Is it the music? What's your favorite if you had one?
I I mean, my favorite is creating products. I like creating products and art, but like artsy products. Like whatever product. Like now, I'm in a space where I'm creating designer luxury. It's like, but that's art.
Hmm.
That has that artistic edge, and that's what originally distinct is. So I want to give. I want to like when you see luxury products. Luxury products are some of them. A lot of them are minimum. They're classy and they have great quality. I want to add the edge to that to to make people say, "Yo, what's that?" And it's originally distinct. So that's my favorite. Um, just creating and bringing my visions through life through products.
Now that you've got yourself in a position where you're in creative control of your whole life, like everything,
Mhm.
could you ever go back to the old world, to the traditional world of working for somebody else and not having that freedom?
Like for me, I couldn't. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, look, I explore, but it got to be something that I'm passionate in, I'm a partner of, or because at the end of the day, it's gonna be projects that someone else may be the expert, but they may be the expert. They may know the world more than me, but then we're bringing a product to the marketplace,
Hmm.
and it may take for me to get a royalty, or I may be getting a salary in this project and a royalty or something, but I'm truly in control of my world. I would say I can't, yeah, I'm truly controlling my world.
Hey, plus one, like I'm the same way. I asked that because there are going to be some people who are going to be like you and I. Like once you get
Hmm.
a taste of freedom and you realize you can create and you can unlock the keys to learn to make money. Like I love
Hmm.
that Jay-Z
Hmm.
line, you put me anywhere God greens earth, I'll triple my worth. Like
Yes.
I think some of us learn how to make money. No matter what situation, we're going to be able to find a way to make money and take care of ourselves. And that's
Yeah.
one path that people can go down. I want to encourage people that that's you to do that. Like bet on yourself, do it
Yeah.
responsibly. And like I'm a financial advisor at heart, so there's some things you can do to make it less scary. but bet on yourself, because if that's who you are, you need to have free reign to go wherever you're at. But I also
Yeah,
want to throw the disclaimer out that's not you. That's perfectly fine as well. I'm gonna
yeah,
have people on the show that are not like you and I, that
mhm,
they are still creative, they're still following their passions, but they need to have that security of other people or other, a salary or whatever it might be. Like
yeah,
there's no one right way to do this. The world doesn't
for
operate
sure.
absolutes. So I
Yeah,
just wanted go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. All of our situations are unique.
Mhm.
We all. It's just like parenting. There's no blueprint to parenting. You just learn how to become a better parent as you grow with your child. So, yeah, everyone's situation is unique. So it is whenever it comes to you and how your world brings things out of you or bring things to the forefront, so you can learn and grow.
So you mentioned the designer line is where you're most excited about right now. But are there any other? I feel like you're pretty ahead of the curve, futuristic. Your NFTs. I see you. I don't know if you're there yet, but it looks like you're building something for the metaverse, because I'm watching the
Yeah,
video going down your metaverse
yeah,
um, uh, gallery. I saw my
yeah.
black diamond there one time. So,
Go.
like, what are some projects that you're thinking of that maybe you can share that you're excited about, or ideas that you have?
Just yeah, thank you first and foremost, but really building a community and also building the value around what I do with the
Mhm,
NFTs because it's bigger to me. It's big when collectors purchase the NFTs. It's bigger than just buying something to flip or try to resell. They're really investing into me and believing in me, and it's my duty to keep on serving and creating value and creating the economy. So that's like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just creating a economy around my brand. And look, it's definitely you need help, and it's a process. So um, that's my goal right now is just to keep adding value and
mhm,
right eventually you see the distinct diamonds, right? You see the distinct diamonds how I provide the physical print with the digital NFT.
mhm,
Later down the line it may be jewelry, it
mhm.
may be. So we just constantly increasing that value where now that value it shows where the value lies and however I can serve to add value to my community and the economy around originally distinct.
I'm sure you've already thought about it, but if not, you need to make sure part of the long-term plan is you got an OD token. So now you've got everybody on your infrastructure, and they're using your token and all of that. So hopefully you're going to be doing that.
Yo, it, you just this came to me two times. I actually do have an OD. I have a token. It's called OD Club. I have tokens in supply. I have a supply of tokens. I just didn't distribute them yet. Um, and that's something that I need to do because, like now, I'm just providing a higher experience for a collector to
Hmm.
to retrieve value from you, and it's all about how you distribute them.
Hmm.
And now that's the whole planning process that I'm in right now is masterminding how I can distribute them and create value around that token. So yeah, we definitely here with the OD token. It's OD. It's called ODC, OD Club token. And yo, I'm actually right now I'm in the process. Someone wants a one-on-one special piece of mine that I created that I'm not going to reproduce, and now I'm masterminding how to deliver this to the collector. Maybe it's from my token.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm masterminding and creating that world. And once it clicks, it clicks. It was just like at one point I didn't understand NFTs fully, right? I understood that it was digital artwork,
Hmm.
but I didn't understand why would somebody buy an NFT? Why would you just buy it? I mean, why would you buy a digital picture of something?
Hmm.
And then once I got in the mind frame of, you building the community and you backing the NFT with physical products, then it clicked. It
Hmm.
clicked. And, you know, that's even with the Distinct Diamond Club, it's growing. So I'm super grateful and forever a student, but it's a lot of work, but you need a team and you need resources around you
Hmm.
that can help you mastermind. Because being an artist and also running the business, you know, is juggling both two worlds, or you're in two different worlds.
Mhm. Where do you pull your inspiration from for your design and your creativity? Like where are you pulling that inspiration from? Where's it come from?
The inspiration comes from all around, but as far as on clothing, it comes from classic luxury brand. So I get a lot of inspiration from classic and luxury brands that's timeless, that's not trendy. And how can I be inspired by a product but make it originally distinct?
Mm-hmm.
Still make it original and make it an originally distinct product. So I'm inspired. I'm inspired when you see the OD1, the sneaker. It's inspired by a YSL and a Jordan 1, and I
Mm-hmm.
meshed it to make it an originally distinct piece. Um, yeah.
I'm gonna
So
be
that's
copping the Carolina ones. I'm getting those.
say that again.
As I'm gonna be copping the Carolina shoes. I love
Well,
Carolina's my favorite college team. I love Carolina blue, so I'm gonna be copping those ones.
yo, man, you already know, and being a Diamond Club member, you already know you get 20% off of all the originally distinct purchases.
Well, and you
So,
already know the way I roll in that I like to fully support the people I believe in, so I don't take those discounts. I pay full price.
yeah,
I ain't gonna take
yo,
the
and
discount.
I truly appreciate that, man. Thank you for just being pure. And yo, I just want to create that value. That's just
Hmm.
value that I want to create for the collectors to
Hmm.
let them know that, like, yo, you're bigger than a customer, or you're bigger than just someone that's just buying my stuff. Your family, your value, and
Well,
that's the
and
go ahead.
I'm saying, and to that, I think that's smart. Like from a creator, you want to reward the people who support you, but from one
Mhm.
creative person to another, I know how much work goes into it. And while yes, the discount is nice to me as a fan, I would much rather send back to you that hey, I appreciate what you're doing so much. I don't even want the discount. Like I want
Yeah,
you to know that I fully support you. But that's how I always
you
roll.
pure.
Like the way that I look at my friends, like I know that my one purchase doesn't make or break their success, but what it means. So I never want to ask for a discount for somebody. And then again, like in this situation, because you offer discount to the Diamond Club, that's great. But I want you to know, hey, I appreciate you so much more. I didn't buy the Diamond Club to get a discount. I bought
Right.
that because I want to support you and I like what it is that you're doing, and I don't need the discount. Like I'm all in on you.
Yeah.
So I.
Yo, that's amazing. And yo, thank you. And you always will be blessed. And that's how the universe, when you move with intention like that, the universe, it don't go past the universe. So
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're doing in your life, it's gonna be blessings that come from all over.
Mhm.
That's how it works. And that's having that higher understanding in whatever we're doing.
Mhm.
Just moving with attention, great attention, and putting the best energy for.
Speaking of blessings, you mentioned having a support system and people around you. You mentioned a couple guys already, but is there any other but anybody else in your life or anybody really important that has played a huge role in where you've gotten to be? Whether it be, you know, when you were a kid, giving you your first crayon and coloring book or whatever it might be, like anybody who's been really impactful on your journey, giving you opportunity to kind of shout them out and give them their flowers and here on
Yeah,
the show.
I'm gonna shout my fiance out. Just totally being by my side and believing in me. You need that. You need someone in your corner that truly believes in you, no matter what. And how someone that can believe in you on that higher level, and they believe in you at a higher level where they know it's gonna happen for you. And that's
Hmm.
how things usually happen. So,
Hmm.
I really want to shout out my fiance for just being in my corner and believing in me and understanding that it's bigger than where we at. So it's always a challenge of
Hmm.
just knowing, like, just understanding where we're headed. We're grateful for where we're at, but we know
Hmm.
where we headed as well. So it's huge, to have that support.
I'll make sure we hook it up with a clip of just that part, so your fiance doesn't have to listen to the whole episode. She don't want to, but you can show her just that one video clip of you shouting her out. So we'll make sure you
Dope.
get that credit.
Yeah,
A
dope.
couple more questions, and I'll let you get back to your day of creating. You mentioned
Yeah.
parenting. Then there's no rule book for parenting. You've got a
Yep.
daughter, right?
Yes. Jet. Her name is
So
Jet.
what do you hope to set as the example for her as being somebody who's bet on himself, doing following his passions? Like, what do you hope she learns from watching you do what you do?
That no matter what she want to do, that her parents is always going to be in her corner, encouraging her that she can really do anything that she put her mind to. I think it's power in that because it creates it don't make it creates abundance.
Hmm.
It doesn't create a scarcity mindset,
Hmm.
and you need that support. So just knowing that, I can do whatever, I put my mind to, as long as I'm taking it serious and I'm passionate at it, it's going to happen for
All right, before we get to my final question, first off,
me.
you've used so many words that I talk about all the time. I had a podcast last week about having an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. Like we, the reason that we ended up getting connected through Nas is like we're on the same frequency, the same wavelength,
Yes,
and
yes,
so that's why we are here talking today. But
for sure.
my final question that I ask everybody on the show is you're getting someone's bringing you on to be a keynote speaker. So let's say that one day there's a big pursuit event, and I call Duane up and say, "Hey man, come talk to my event. I want you to inspire these people to follow their passions, and one day this is going to happen because I'm putting it out there now." What would be the song you're walking out to? And I'll let you go two songs. You get to pick one of your original songs, and that's what
Okay,
we're going to end the episode with is one of your songs.
okay.
One of your
So,
songs, and then
uh,
one song for somebody else. What's your walkout song?
my walk outside for my song is "Live Through My Art." Um, just is That's the song I'm walking out to. And then
Hmm.
other than that is Kanye West. You can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money, right? You know,
Yep. Yep.
um, that's a great question. I love that one, man. That's dope. That's super
Uh,
dope.
All right. So concluding, anything that maybe you want to make sure that we share with the audience from your perspective, and if not, if we hit everything that you wanted to cover, what would be like your final parting words to somebody who they have a like this is somebody who has a passion identified, but they're afraid to follow it. Like, what advice would you give them in conclusion?
Hmm. Um, yo, trust yourself. Yeah, I would say trust yourself and dig into what you believe in. Um, learn how to become learn how to become comfortable with being uncomfortable for a point in time where you can just be in a space where you learn, you open yourself up to it. It's like moving without a GPS.
Hmm.
You're driving down the street, you don't know where you're going, but you know that you're gonna find a destination.
Hmm.
Okay, this block looking, I'm gonna make a right turn down here. All right, I think I'm starting to know where I'm becoming now. Okay, I'm gonna make another right, or and I'm gonna make a left here, and just enjoying that moment from each block that you go down, and you know, pick that up and let that lead you to your destination. Let the feeling lead you to your destination, and trust yourself.
I like that. I like that. What? Drop your social media. Where can everybody find you? I'll link to it all. But where should they find you?
You can find me at Originally Distinct on Instagram, originallydistinct.com. Originally Distinct everything. Apple Music is Originally Distinct EP. I made a lifestyle EP. And I really just did that for me. I always wanted to explore into music. But it was just lifestyle, for me, just talking my lifestyle on instrumentals. And I think that's going to lead me to another path where I'm collaborating with a lot of lifestyle artists and entrepreneurs um, that I admire.
Hmm.
That's independent, and yeah, so um, Originally Distinct EP, and yeah, and then personal page. Other than if you're not tapped into the brand, Weez Gordon Jr. That's WeezeGordonJr. You can follow that page as well. But yo, Justin, thank you so much. Originally Distinct as well on Open Sea,
Mm-hmm.
um, Distinct Diamond Club, originally Distinct. Thank you so much, Justin. It was a pleasure to be on this. It's a beautiful Thursday in Philadelphia. The sun is out, so that feels really good. I hope it's beautiful right where you at in Indiana, man. But yo, I want to thank you so much. And other than that, man, however I can serve you, I'm here.
The pleasure was all mine. Like I said, I've been following you from afar, DMing on Instagram and stuff. But the first time getting to talk to you, I'm really excited for today. So thank you for joining me. It is a nice day. You can see the sun hitting the side of my face. I gotta get some
Yes,
better
sir.
blinds up here. But no, I think this was a phenomenal conversation, and you embody everything that Pursuit is about. And for
Yo,
some people, your story is
that's
going to be the one that resonates with them. And if that's not you today, that's okay because passion manifests itself in different ways, in different stories. We're going to have somebody on here that's going to resonate with you and motivate you as the listener or viewer, because this will be on YouTube as well, to kind of
yes,
dive
sir.
more into your passion. So I'm going to make
Yo,
it out to Philly. I'm going to come see you and Nas. I'm going to do a documentary on you. Um, and I
yo,
hope that
I
we get to stay in touch over. And I
yeah,
would love one day to do a Pursuit OD collab on some type of artwork or NFT in the future.
yo, we need to make that happen because I know it's going to be professional. And yo, we need to make that happen for sure because it's something that YouTube, the world need to see it. And however we can, look, that might be the million, 10 million view episode.
There you go. There you go.
That's what.
Sounds good.
Yo,
All
thank you
right, man.
so
Well,
much.
let me let you get to enjoy the beautiful day. I appreciate your time. We'll definitely be staying in touch. Everybody, go follow Originally Distinct on everything. The links will be in the show notes. And I appreciate you again. Appreciate all of you for
Yes,
coming
sir.
in, tuning in regularly. And as always, let's keep on this pursuit.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Keep going. Thank you. $1 billion in my mind, I can turn liquid. Gotta manifest planet and go get it. They say a million ain't enough, so I'm thinking bigger. When I say again, billion, trillion.